Hi everybody, I'm Bill Sanders and this is Watch Art Sci, the art and science of watch collection. Today we're going to talk about the regular guy, Grail. I've had a couple other Grail watch videos, and one of the subscribers said, hey Bill, what about, for us, the regular guys who, something, Grail that's in around 5,000 or less than that. And I thought about it, and because some people say, well, how can you have a Grail watch that's not more expensive? Well, it's pretty easy because most of us do. My Grail of Grails would be a Philippe Dufour, either one, the duality or singularity, but I can't anywhere near afford that, so my Grails are sort of within range. And so this is a regular guy's Grails, and they're all around $5,000 or less. Now, the first one is a Chanel J12, and this is one that came out, I think it was in 2019, and it has a reference H5697. Now, the important thing about that reference is that it has a movement called the 12.1 by a company called Kinesi, which is partially owned by Chanel. It's co-owned by Chanel and Tudor, and there's a lot of similarities between the 12.1, the J12 12.1, and the Tudor's MT 5600. It's a watch. Now the list price on this is $5,700, which is a pretty good price, really. I mean, for a watch like this, it's ceramic and steel, 38 millimeters screw down, very sophisticated watch, I think. Now I say, well, how can it be with ceramic, this and that? Well, it can be. At least I think it can be. And so you have a lot of versatility. You can wear this thing with a lot of different situations. It's a little sportier. Maybe you'd want something different for executive suite. It's not an executive suite watch, but it's not a cool watch. Now, the second one is a Zenith El Primero. Now, this particular El Primero is one that I liked for a lot of reasons. First of all, this is the new one. This is the new price on one from Joma Shop. And there are a lot of secondary sellers like Joma Shop where you can get significant discounts for watches that didn't quite sell as well, even though there's some great watches. Sometimes you get best sellers from there too. And so I always look there. Now, this particular watch, the El Primero, I like the rose gold bezel. It's the subdials don't seem to get in the way that much. I'm not a big fan of chronographs, I got to tell you. A lot of people are, but I'm not one of them. However, if this one is a pretty neat one, I think. And it's a sports watch, but more of a luxury sports. I mean, sports watch, you don't go out and play rugby with a watch like that, with a gold bezel. And then it's got the El Primero movement, which is an excellent chronograph movement. So this one, like I said, is $49.95. Now, another strategy, and this is one I use. This is a watch that I bought, a Daniel Roth chronograph. Now, it's got exactly the same El Primero 400 movement as the Zenith has, except it's put together by Daniel Roth, who's, of course, is famous in about 50 different ways as a watchmaker. And now this one, this isn't the one, I mean, this isn't the price for the one I got, but I didn't want to give you a price for one that isn't out there. And this one, it was $42.75. There aren't a lot of these watches. To have something by Daniel Roth, I can't afford the ones that he makes. He makes these super duper tourbillons that I think he's got, like, makes one or two a year, something like that. Or maybe it's one or two a month. I don't know what it is, but they sell for about 100,000 Swiss francs a pop, which is way out of my budget. But this one It was in my budget. I didn't have much of a chronograph to speak of, so I ended up with both, with a chronograph plus with a watchmaker of great fame. So it's sort of a roundabout way of doing it, kind of things regular guys have to do. Okay, this next one is Cesar Lacuto, large, small seconds. This one is, I think recently I recommended a Cesar Lacuto, large, small seconds, a duo. Now this is one, the price, $53.54, is from Joma Shop as well. The Cesar Lacuto list price is a little higher than this, not a lot. Cesar Lacuto is still, I think, one of the best deals in watches, in really luxury watches. The thing, among other things, I like about this is that it has the caliber 822/2 is a shape movement. And when you see a shape movement in a watch, it uses the shape of the watch itself, the case of the watch. And generally, when you see that, you're seeing something that was not exactly off the shelf. Now, I'm sure by now they've made enough reversos that this is pretty much off the shelf. But this reversal large small seconds by Cesar Lacuto, I think I really do think it's a Grail-worthy watch. Now, this next one is one that I recently discovered, and I like it, and I found out more about it. I like it even better. This is a GirardPerGo Richfield Day-Night. Now, I always liked the Richfield that GirardPerGo had. GirardPerGo has wonderful history of in watchmaking. Now, one of the things about this watch that's so interesting, I do like the power reserve indicator down at between 4 and 5 o'clock. I like those. Even though it's an automatic, it's still nice to see. If you're sitting around, maybe it'll run out, so you can tell at a glance if you're running out of gas on the thing. But if you look at it, it has this one big arrow, and that's the minute hand. Now, at the top, there's an arrow there, and what that is, those are the hours. And so the rotation, you have this outer ring that rotates the hours, and by simply looking at at a glance, the colors, the black is night and sort of a silvery color is day. This is a cool watch. You have small seconds over at 9 o'clock if you use them. I never do. But this is just a flat-out cool watch. I really like this watch a lot. And I think it's a Grail-worthy watch. And like I said, the pre-owned one I found was $38.68. You might be able to do better. You really might. There's the back of it, and you can see the movement. And again, this is an in-house movement by GirardPerGo. It's called the Caliber 33 G0.9. Everybody's got their own different way of displaying what the caliber is. Now, this one is this one is a brand new one. Now, I think normally this Parmigiani Fleurier Tonda Metrograph was, I think they listed it as like 15,000 or something like that. I don't know. I'm not sure exactly. But here you have a watch by a living watchmaker, Michel Parmigiani. People like chronographs again. I'm not a great chronograph fan, but boy, I sure like this one. This is a beautiful watch. Easily work as a business or office watch. It's got this movement by the namesake for the brand, by Michel Parmigiani. Now, as you probably know, all of the movements are made by Vasseur that are from Parmigiani, but they're owned by the Sandoz Family Foundation, so they're all sort of in the same boat. This watch, I really think, is a really beautiful watch. I think it's a heck of a good buy. And like I said, $59.22 was the new price. one watch that I found like that. The other ones, you can find them around 5,000 and below as well in a pre-owned state. Now, this final watch is one that I really like too. Now, the one I'm showing here, this is called the Chopard Pro 1 LUC 8912. Now, the thing about Chopard, some of Chopard's movements they'd use relatively inexpensive movements. They weren't bad ones. They were usually ETA movements. They wouldn't tell you about them, but that's another story. However, so they started what's called the LUC series. And usually on the face of the watch, they print LUC, but what they did here, they put it on the weighted in of the second hand. On the second hand, there's this little thing that says LUC, and then because it says Pro 1 on it and everything else, it's automatic movement on it. This is a watch. Now, Chopard is pretty fancy. They're definitely a fancy jewelry, but they've been around in the watch business for a long time. They make great watches. This particular one was made between 2004 and 2009, but you can find lots and lots of them out there. Now, they also have a chronograph version, but I like this, what I'll call a diver version. The original one comes with a rubber and sort of with a little wavy images on it. This one they're selling has a gator strap on it. Now, the reason that I selected this one to take a look at is to illustrate, you have something with it. You don't want a rubber strap, wearing it to work and stuff like that as an office or a business watch. You want something a little nicer. Now, that's not, in my opinion, it's not the greatest gator strap. In fact, it may be a leather strap with a gator print on it. Doesn't matter. I mean, but the idea, what I would do is get something blue that matches the dial on that thing. Man, I think you'd have a great watch. Very versatile. It's a luxury sports watch at the same time. I think it would be just a really great everyday watch too. Again, it is a regular guy kind of Grail quality to it. Now, this one is sort of a regular guy. It wasn't a Grail watch, but it was one I really wanted. And it took me a year to talk the guy down to what I wanted to pay for it. But what happened, and this is something to keep in mind, sometimes you'll see a watch and you'll like it, but it's getting sort of long in the tooth, never been serviced or anything like that. And that was the case with this one. When I got it, it was slow, but that was okay. It worked and it was close, what I would call a close enough watch. But it had a Parmigiani movement in it. This is a Parmigiani Colpa. And I like the looks of it, and I love the bracelet. The bracelets on these things are great. And so finally the stem broke, or I broke the stem, one of the two. And so I thought, well, it's time for a service. And a service is expensive. There's no two ways about it. Good watches have expensive service. Once I got the service done on this is like having a new watch. When I got it back, not only did I had it serviced and an overhaul. I'd recommend, too, if you're going to have one, you might as well have them both done. While they got it opened up and they throw out all of the stuff that's not working right or needs replacement. And this is now like having whatever the original price of it was. I think it was like, $15,000, $20,000. It's a really expensive watch. What I paid for it was a lot less than that. And so sometimes what you can figure is saying, look, there's a watch here, let's say this Chopard, you see something like that, it's $3,000, and you say, I'm going to have to, it probably needs a service and maybe an overhaul, and that's going to cost me $1,000. So what? You got a really good watch, you got a really good price, and now you have a watch like it's almost as good as new. Keep those in mind when you're looking at something that you'd like to have that you can afford. Okay, and also, too, remember the band can be changed. People act as though, oh, it's got this kind of band. Well, I don't like the band. Change it. It's the easiest way to get a new watch is to change the band on it. Well, listen, those are my regular guy recommendations for a regular guy Grail. Let me know what you think. Tell me if you have some other ones you think that would fit into this group. And any questions you have. And of course, this is an invitation to subscribe if you'd like. Until next time, this is Bill Sanders for Watch Art Side, the Art and Science of Watch Collection.